Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Astrology and Beyond. Today, with your host, Tatiana, also broadcasting for ANN, Archetypal News Network. And I am broadcasting literally from the beyond these days. And I'd like to begin by sharing a little bit of why I've been a little bit absent. And not that I have dropped completely out of being here with all of you. However, it is a time that has been a little bit challenging for me, where I have been experiencing a little bit of burnout and deep need to refocus all my energy and my attention within my being, so I could better serve you in the future. This is going to be just a short time for me, where I'm not going to be as present necessarily. I am really going with every day's energy. Sometimes I have very little energy. And on this subject, I'd like to share with you part of my personal transits, which I love astrology, because if this is also you, if you happen to be like me, like a Virgo, sun in Virgo at the 26th degree of Virgo natally, chances are you're being affected by a similar transit, which is the Neptune opposition. And so I found it very interesting to share this so you understand also for yourselves. I love doing astrology when I understand a transit fully, because it has happened to me, it happens to me, and then I can really speak to it with all of you. And also when I have clients say what they're going through and how they're experiencing transits, that helps us all understand more so we can all have more grace within our lives. So this transit going through, it's been an ongoing thing, and finally is starting to perfect, and I can definitely feel it. So I'm going to read to you what a Neptune opposition Sun could be doing. And not only that is relevant to this video, because we will have this first half of the month a transit of Neptune to the Sun. There's going to be a square. So chances are that some of these transiting energies might hit you in some way, or might echo your own personal transits. So Neptune opposition Sun. You should be very careful on this transit. Oh, by the way, I'm reading from Robert Hand's Planets in Transit. This is a really classic cookbook. So you should be very careful under this transit. First, your physical vitality will not be as great as it could be. You may become weakened by a variety of ailments if you are not careful. Avoid exposure to illness, and if possible, don't use any type of drugs, prescription or otherwise. Yeah, so this is kind of the basics. And for a Virgo like me, who wants to kind of have everything very clear, understand the whens and whys and hows, the reason, and again, I refer to Robert Hand. However, I prefer positive astrology, where I'm not looking at, oh, beware of this, beware of that, this is dangerous. I don't subscribe too much to that. However, I do see the value of why Neptune transits can be very confusing or challenging, because when Neptune hits a planet in your birth chart, like the Sun, Venus, Mercury, any planet, and it starts to dissolve it, to completely disintegrate its identity and put you in this mass of confusion. The reason for the weakening is not for you to get ill. That's not the point. It's for you to allow the dissolution to happen. So what happened for me, I was really focused on outside doing for the past whole year. It's been this, that other thing, committing to 10 different things and trying to be out. And suddenly the body says, stop, you're not listening. You're not listening. Go within and allow yourself to dissolve all that perceived identity. Therefore, the Sun, perceived identity. How, as we dissolve that identity, to come into a more aligned identity with something that really is beyond. This is a transit about full trust in I would say destiny, but I don't like to use destiny as this is it, because in astrology we don't have exact destiny. We have weather and life weather. In the weather of my life right now, my being is calling. Where is your true alignment with self? Are you all those things in your personality? And for this effect, I've been listening to Joe Dispenza. So if you don't know who Joe Dispenza is, I highly, highly recommend you Google that person and see if you resonate, because what he's bringing to the world is fantastic, because it's very grounded information based on science, at least our current science and our current understanding of quantum, the quantum reality and quantum physics and how the brain actually works. So this is absolutely phenomenal, because it's been helping me also to recreate my whole entire existence from within. So this is just something I'm recommending. And if any of this information is useful for you, remember that I'm not here only to give, oh, this is the astrology, this is that. Anything I say in this channel, that's why it's called And Beyond, might speak to you. Sometimes I'll read you a quote. Sometimes I'll give you an insight. Sometimes I just stream some consciousness, because yes, when we are Neptunized, there is a high chance that we are connected to so much information of the field of everything that is. And I make a point to be as clear and concise when it comes to information that can be coming through. And for all of you who love astrology, you know, when you're looking at a chart, especially if you know more of the technique is of the Virgo mind, right? That's technique. This is the way it's done. This is how it appears in the form. And the Neptune portion or the Pisces portion of it, it's not about understanding exactly how it works. It's about sensing and feeling and getting imprints. And for you out there, astrology is a mix of both, this very highly technical, precise understanding with the blend of the, I don't need to understand, but I feel, I sense, and I get an imprint. And that's what's given as guidance. So this is, for me, very important to tell you this, so that you understand that everything I say has a bit of both, a bit of the intuitive, completely intuitive. And those messages sometimes come to you because you, whoever you are out there listening right now, might be needing this. And that might echo in your reality in this moment or at any other moment in time when you're hearing this. So take whatever resonates with you, and let's dive into the astrology of the first half of December. I am a couple days late. Again, I have been prompted to just flow as a particle, listening to guidance every single day. So I'm doing it today, and I hope that you get something out of here. And please feel free to share, like, and subscribe to this channel so more people can find the information and the insights that do come from the beyond. Okay, so I'm going to share where is it here? This is our astrology for the first half of December. Lots of things happening as usual. And my sense is that this month has the potential to be so connected and so deep and so great if we really ride the waves of that trust and the waves that are coming in from whatever fields of consciousness are trying to enter this world before next year's, massive shifts with Pluto entering Aquarius finally. So let's see what's up with important things. So we'll have Mercury entering Capricorn, Venus entering Scorpio. we'll have Neptune moving direct, which is a big one. And we'll have a new moon in Sagittarius and the beginning of a Mercury retrograde. We all know Mercury retrograde periods come 3 weeks at a time. So good times for reviewing. Okay, let's dive in. So Mercury entered Capricorn December 1st. That was last Friday. And with the Mercury entering Capricorn, the mental field is more prone to being wait a minute, what is going on here? Okay, I just need to check, is the internet working? I think the power just went out. Yes, but I guess the internet's still working. Okay, anyway, so with Mercury entering Capricorn, yeah, the mental field will be probably more focused on practical matters, on developing goals or achieving something that it's important. So it might feel more business-like, Mercury in Capricorn is almost analog to having Saturn, and we're starting with this sextile to Saturn as well, which means our mind can be a little bit more focused on real things, real matters, and what is important to us at this time, especially in the Capricorn areas of our lives. So if you look in your chart, what house that falls into, where is your Capricorn house? That's the area of life where you might find more focused attention and more capacity to resolve or solve problems in that area. And I wouldn't even say problems, it's more to be more realistic and see what things can come out of your mental capacities to focus on your goals and focus on things that might be new at this time, especially regarding resources, regarding money, regarding your authentic and true self. And it also comes because well, this is the Sagittarius, so whoops, because we have this lovely trine of Jupiter to Lilith and to Mercury. This is a grand trine, so this can bring that layer of let's see if I have it somewhere here. No, it's not. Oh, here it is. This will be going on through this week as the capacity to have some steadfast communication, really grounded with people, with your ideals, with groups, with anything you are really wanting to bring. You can have the clarity of how to enunciate that. And a beautiful part of adding Jupiter to this mix, even though Jupiter and Lilith are both retrograding, is that your mind is going into those territories before this can be actually enacted when Jupiter goes direct later in the month. So so Jupiter adds the practical wisdom, fostering a realistic approach to thinking, which is probably when clouds are starting to move, because as Neptune will also go direct, we will touch upon that. We might be able to more easily see what is truly important, what are our beliefs, that's one thing, and what gives us meaning, so we can move forward towards something that is more aligned with our authenticity. And this is where Lilith comes in, because the authenticity comes from that inner desire to express who our being is. Lilith is this like powerful feminine force, and this is a feminine trine in Earth, because Earth is a feminine sign. So the feminine, or the yin, I would like to call it the yin, it has this very it's like this energy that is grounded, powerful, and that can pull in or attract by working with the energies of the earth that are at play. understanding what is around us, how cycles function. When we align more with cycles and cycles of nature and understanding how abundance actually works, because there's a workings to it. There's a workings to why everything has sustainable cycles. We are not meant to be creatures that live in lack. These are programs that have been put into our brains by thousands of years of let's say mental slavery, patriarchy. So as we move through these energies that are bringing in more and more of that component of the yin, which is the receptive energy, where we can sit and pull in and understand that everything is created from within our own beings, nothing outside ourselves would be ever in lack. Is the recognition that we have all the resources. That's why Jupiter, in that expansion or that expansive wisdom of how to use resources more wisely. And these are our natural resources, our real resources that come from Earth. And as we move through these shifts of thinking, we might be tending to also move with again the cycles. This word cycles keep coming back to me more and more. When we align with natural cycles of the earth, we are able to harness its richness. So this is something that comes from obviously within, from the belief. Do you believe that you are abundant and that you have everything at your disposal to be abundant? Do you see the glass half full or half empty? Do you see that resources are really unending when we work with sustainable cycles? And this is the information that has been wanting to come into the planet so we can organize our societies and organize our belief systems around a more sustainable way of existence as humans, which include the earth and all its components. So that's part of it, this practical wisdom. It's not about splurging and fantastical, I don't know, which it's interesting because there might be tendencies with Venus opposing Jupiter to be also overspending or thinking that there are more resources than there really are, but not understanding that there is a sustainable cycle to life. It's not that resources are unlimited per se, is that there's a way to work with them so they can always cycle back. This is probably what I mean by that. Sometimes, and during the Christmas time, we tend to become really, really splurgy, like again, the pull might be this pull towards overaccumulation again. Oh, I want this and I want that. And you know how Christmas times, at least for those who celebrate Christmas, I'm not necessarily directing this to other religions or practices that don't celebrate Christmas, but this is because it's a very big, let's say, holiday for a lot of parts of the world this time of year. So I don't mean to exclude anybody, but I mean the field has that commercial vibe to it, where again we're going to be exposed to seeing if those values still align. Do I still want to buy all this shit and just keep hoarding? And again, what is the meaning behind gifting and things like that? That could be something that can come. Those themes could come this time around. So we might also have financial insights, because Jupiter in Taurus may offer practical financial insights and understanding. Again, how are we using our finances? Are we being smart with our money and our resources? Or are we going to, again, splurge and think that money that's invisible grows on trees? Or are we going to start understanding this new way of having a more circular economy? There's also the capacity to have stability in ideas. So this trine supports stable and constructive ideas with an emphasis on practicality and material abundance. You see, because and a lot of people don't understand necessarily the abundance mindset. And I have been personally working on abundance mindset for a while. The abundance mindset, it's not about money. It's not necessarily about how many numbers you have in a bank account. You see, you open your bank account in your browser or wherever, and then you see all these numbers. But where are these numbers? Where's the value of these numbers? These numbers mean nothing if they're not nourishing your being on a daily basis. You can have a ton of money sitting in a bank, but that has absolutely no value. The value is in what you are truly needing to support life, to support and enjoy. And that's part of also the Venus principle, is how do we truly enjoy life? Is it with all this stuff that we keep accumulating? Or do we align with what our souls truly want and desire and allow the universe, the quantum field, to bring that is meant for us? And it's different for everybody, as you know. Each birth chart is different. So when you're clear about yourself, what do you really need and want to exist in happiness? So I have been saying this mantra to myself that I'm offering to you. You may modify it. I say every morning, I always have everything I need and more to live a joyful, comfortable, harmonious, peaceful, abundant, and loving life. If you want to pause the video, go back and repeat that mantra. That's something I say every day, because this is me acknowledging that is there every day. Does that mean it's a bunch of numbers in a bank account? Or does it mean that every day I wake up and there's food on my plate and it's nourishing and delicious? Every single day there is a roof. Every single day there is loving, caring friends around me and people. That is my experience of life. The more I say these things and the more I feel into them. So I wanted to stop at this section so you can harness this energy. It is an energy, and that energy brings you more of that. So this is why our insights and the way we use words, oh my God, words have power. Words are frequency. So if you've never heard that before, I'm going to say it. Words are frequency. We broadcast a word and associate a concept to that word. And that concept reinforces in our brain as truth. Therefore, our reality just seems always like that, as that truth. So what words are you saying? This time of year is a great time to reframe your thinking, to reframe your wording. So catch the words that you're saying to yourself, especially regarding abundance, especially regarding money, regarding regarding resources, regarding what's important to you to survive happily, and have a great life. So, okay, this aside, let's move on to the other things that are going on this first week. So, there's a lot going on, and I'm hoping to have this video not be as long, but you know me, right? If you stick to the end, you'll get all the golden nuggets. So the other thing that's happening at the same time during this week is that we have this we have been having since the beginning of, especially this first few days, this conjunction of Mars and Jupiter. And this conjunction has also has this capacity to propel us, into our dreams and action and going forward. And I can say that if you have felt a little bit held back with all that you really truly align with, this is because earlier at the end of November, we had the the square to Saturn, end of November and maybe last week. So I won't be talking about this too extensively, but this is a little bit how that could have felt, that you're really ready to go. Sagittarius wants us to go for what we believe. The Sun and Mars together is like a great force. It's great energy, enthusiasm. We know where we're going. We know what we want. We suddenly have this energy to try new things. We have like this desire for bold action, courage and passion. We want to explore new things. We have like a new fuel. Literally, there's like it's like I had this idea, this vision that it's like a dog, like going, running, like free, like, and the competitive spirit might intensify because we want to maybe like, again, like surpass our own selves, or even say like, wow, what are you doing that I'm doing? But it feels like a very expansive energy. It's Sagittarius, it's expansive. It's about new horizons, even new beliefs. And that gives us a new renewal sense of capacity to act. Right now, with the Saturn that was there at the beginning, this is like the owner with the leash going, hey, not so fast. We need to make sure that those changes or those ambitious and impetus you're having are going somewhere that's not going to be everywhere. You know how dogs can sometimes just run everywhere in the park? So the idea is to keep it on track. So now with the Saturn releasing that square, this is where the dog gets released. When the owner finally goes, okay, now you can go after, I don't know, chasing something, and the dog just goes for it really clearly because it has seen the goal, it has seen where it's going. So this is a great energy. You could actually feel quite energized, unless you're being very dissolved like me. This is my personal transit, but you see, this is not cookie cutter. This is general astrology for the soul, where especially if you are a native of the Sagittarius energy, you might have like so much going on, so much energy to go, so much focus, and so much vitality, because this really impacts more like the fire signs, especially around the 10th degree, give or take a little bit towards the 15th degree, or the 5th degree of Sagittarius is a good chunk, where you could be feeling this a sense of renewal. I always feel with Mars there's a renewal of energy. It's like drinking that Red Bull. I don't drink Red Bull, but I did it once, and it just gives you so much energy. Anyway, so other things that are happening simultaneously. This is all the energy of this week, this first 2 weeks, right? So, okay, what are we moving into right now? So we're moving into Venus, understanding Venus moving from Libra, where the planet Venus in Libra feels so at home with the harmonization processes. So chances are that during the Venus transit through Libra, you might have had more desire for harmony and balance, and grace within your interactions, relationships, maybe even some things related to legal issues being maybe resolved, or at least coming to certain agreements, even though Venus has been in some difficulty with Pluto, where these agreements have not necessarily come very easily. So, and we're still seeing that subsiding square to Pluto, where there could have been a lot of butting heads around how to harmonize life, and essentially we just want to transform some old demoted ways of relating through those squares with Pluto. And as we move away, as Venus moves away from the Libra, from this need to harmonize things, it goes into a territory where Venus is not as comfortable, which is Scorpio. Venus in a Mars/Pluto ruled sign has a capacity of immense depth of seeing the shadows. So chances are that you have been seeing the shadows in relationships in the past month or so, seeing how this projection games could be really intensified, so we can see what are we projecting onto others that we need to release from ourselves so we can live in more peace and harmony. So now Venus in Scorpio can be even going even deeper into themes of sexuality, taboo themes, deeper themes with relationships, and it can be any relationship. Remember, Venus, it's the planet of relationship and of pleasure and of value. And as we get deeper in the scorpionic realms, this is what this could feel like, right? This is the feeling or the sense, I put this like underwater because there's like some kind of depth that we might be encountering in our own being. And there is something really cool happening too, is Venus is trining Saturn. So this allows for some depth, stability, and structure, almost like understanding our emotions and the intensity that can come through. Remember that Mercury in Capricorn trining the Jupiter, the Lilith, all of that energy of clarity can also bring more clarity and a more sober approach to our emotions, our feelings, our relationships, and our commitments as well, because Saturn in that trine wants us to commit to something and have more maturity. So relationships might have gone through a phase of a lot of dysfunction, only to start forming something more mature, more clear bonds, more sustainable bonds, based on what? On looking at those shadows, on acknowledging with maturity what those are, not acting out like when you're just acting out of your patterning, but you actually look inside and are able to see where that comes from, release it, and then come to new agreements with people in your life. So there can be, with the Venus in opposition to Jupiter, we might have some tension between, again, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, between the values that are emerging regarding material abundance, what do we truly value, and the old ways of valuing, maybe a lot of materialism or satiating our desire to, maybe not a desire, but maybe satiating subconscious voids that came maybe from, again, very early relational dysfunctions with our parents, our families, or growing up, or with or partners. So as this is being revealed, what is truly important, we might feel, am I still attached to wanting all this? Or am I going to go look deeper into what truly matters? And this is why this depth, I put this here, this light as and like a treasure, but it's also, we don't know, like sometimes the biggest treasures come with the greatest shadows, you see, and that is the gift of Scorpio. Let's not forget that Scorpio is not just manipulation and jealousy and hiding, and it's not only that. That is low level Scorpio. That is low frequency Scorpio for sure. Manipulation, jealousy, seeing what we can get from another by wanting more of them and not being upfront. The high level Scorpio, what does it do? It actually looks in the depth so that it can transform the shadows and really see what is needing to leave the field of our consciousness. So with that, we might see again some conflicts. Again, why am I still maybe attached to buying so much stuff? Or am I really fulfilling a void? Am I trying to, why am I doing this? Sometimes those questions may arise during this time. Now, again, another theme with this Jupiter Venus is the desire for more. So there could be a potential conflict due to a desire for excess in various aspects. It could also be sexual. With partners, people that are in relationships, there could be suddenly an activation of maybe a desire for more sexual interaction or more presence. Maybe you want to keep your lovers very close and just want more and more and more. Again, look at where are those voids coming from. Instead of creating an excess, where are the voids coming from, so we can actually be more in balance and understand whether or not we are projecting something onto someone, or is this something, why are we having these needs? This needs to satiate something. And me, as a native Venus in Scorpio, I can tell you how that feels, because the Venus in Scorpio archetype is so passionate, so deep, so intense that it can overpower and overwhelm people with its need to merge, because Scorpio is the merger, is this. And then the merger becomes the fusion, and then the fusion becomes all, and it can be so intense. So this is where when we learn two things. Venus in Scorpio is beautiful for merging, if we know what merging actually brings to the partnership when we're whole. And we can also understand unmerging without the process of pain. You see, and this is something that can be learned. Also, beautiful time for couples therapy right now, because there's all this depth and this field of potential understanding and reestablishing more healthy relationships. There is also, it's a beautiful field when Venus goes into Scorpio to do the art of sex. For example, that could be something like Tantra, bringing back sexuality, not to a male driven thing, but as an art. How do you play the art of sensuality, sexuality, depth? What about the art of getting to know someone deeply? And I say art because Venus is related to art. So whatever that speaks to you, maybe this is also you literally getting into your own depths through art therapy, to look at things that might be traumatic or hidden, and that can be expressed through art so that you can see them. I do something called mandala, for those who are aware of that. Mandala is these drawings that are always like in a kaleidoscope. If you're not aware with the word, if you are, which you probably are if you're listening to an astrology video and beyond. So mandala is a beautiful way of accessing subconscious patterns. Because even the colors you're using might speak to you about something, might bring something from the subconscious mind to be seen. So using art as therapy is a beautiful time to do that, while Venus for this whole month is going to be here. So very good time to go within, especially if you're Sagittarius rising. I'm going to tell you, Venus is in your 12th house, entering your 12th house. So any Sagittarius risings out there, really good time to go within. So I'm speaking a lot about myself. Yeah, so it gives you some context. And there could be a little bit of a balancing act, because there could be some struggle to balance material and emotional needs. Again, the needs. Venus in Scorpio can be very needy if we have not addressed the voids. Seeking a middle ground for fulfillment, which is obviously why we seek outside in the Taurus realm of stuff and things. I need this, I need that. So Jupiter expanding that might want to fill those voids. So bottom line is, look within. Counseling is a great time right now, couples therapy. And if you're not in partnership and you're still feeling like, why am I alone? I need someone. Like, why do you need someone? So this is a good time to come into peace with yourself, especially if you're not in relationship, or if you have experienced the Uranian fields that happened last month, of lots of breakups. Last month with Uranus, there was so much dislodging of energies that are no longer resonant. So now is a good time to go in the depths and see, what do I truly need to nurture my soul? Okay, enough of that. Now, next thing for this portion of time, we have finally Neptune going direct. So what does this look like? Can anybody tell me when this is? I mean, look at it and in your mind, or just think, what is this? It's a picture of what? What is there? Maybe there's some insight of what this could be. And it feels blurry, it feels foggy, it feels kind of natural, it feels that something's there and something beautiful, maybe, or maybe not, maybe something ugly. Okay, so what happens with Neptune in retrograde is that through the whole time Neptune has been retrograding, things might have seemed like we need to trust blindly where we're going. But trusting blindly means we don't really always know if the way we're going is the right way. Is that my path? So as Neptune moves direct, good news is things might seem a little bit clearer. So this is the picture, right? Let's go back. Bing, boom. And the reason I put this picture here is like we can start seeing the fog lifting. You see this fog, and still we might not see necessarily the whole way. Neptune is always a mystery. But at least there's a path, and the path leads to maybe I put there a temple, because I feel that with Neptune in Pisces, we're coming back into our sacred temple of self. And that could have been very confusing. Who am I is the big question. Are you your personality? Or are you your beliefs? Who are you? So this might be starting to clear that way for you to find who you truly are, beyond the illusions or the fantasies that you thought you were or you could be, or even the desire to escape to realms that are away from, that are given by everybody's fields of consciousness. You might have a lot of spiritual insights during this time. The heightened spiritual experiences and intuition are emphasized. This is when the mists lift and you can actually see clearly, is there a message coming through? This is a great time to be in contact with your own inner guidance. You can call it your inner guides, angels, or whatever you want to call it. It could be your future self or your higher self. It doesn't matter how you call it. The aspect of you that gives you guidance, not outside of you giving you guidance, inside of you. This is a great time to have that focused intention. The beautiful time for creative inspiration. This direct motion sparks creativity and imaginative pursuits. So this is a great time to really dream, to dream and start putting those dreams towards a more clear sense of self and direction. So it's great. Dissolution of confusion. The confusion that you might have been experiencing for a while might start to clear, providing a better understanding of emotions and relationships. You know, this is part of the whole thing. Who is in resonance and what is in resonance with my current state of being? I'm going to say that again. Who and what is in resonance with my current state of being? The state of being is what creates your reality by sending out a wave. So if your state of being is still attached to fields of consciousness that have a lot of drama, power, control, manipulation, fear of abandonment, rejection, the need to be seen and recognized, all of those things that are just patterns. You know, when we clear all that gunk out, which is exactly the process a lot of us have been going through, because as the astrology has been pushing for that, whether or not you have followed the astrology, that's been pushing, that's been driving the boat. So this will have there will be like this clearing of understanding what truly being connected in one field means. I am you, you are me, means my resonance brings you into my reality, or brings things, right? You might have a heightened sensitivity, and the emotional sensitivity is amplified, requiring discernment in navigating boundaries. And that is always the issue with Neptune, is where's the boundary? Now, because Saturn has entered Pisces, this discernment fields will come more and more. Discern what is yours and what is somebody else's, you know? This is something that we as a collective will be starting to learn as well in its best expression, as how to understand those fields of consciousness. The only way to really understand them is also by being in them. If you're always outside, it's very hard to hear what's inside, to feel and sense the imprints of stuff. You know, when I say the imprints, what I mean is, you know, the archetypes. This is exactly an archetypal universe. Like Ren Butler would say, the archetypal universe is a universe made of these imprints of feelings. You know, when, and for an example, if I say, you know, if I tell you, think of the 80s, those of you who were alive in the 80s, of course, and remember, think of the 80s. You immediately have a vibe, and you don't know why you have a vibe, but you have like a vibe. There's sound to it. There's fashion to it. It's a vibe. That's an imprint. Yeah. So eras have vibes and have imprints, and so does everything in nature, and everything around us have vibes. So very important to connect to the field of what even people have vibes. Of course, you go around and you feel, oh, that, I don't know, I don't like the vibe of that person. Or, oh, I love this vibe. This is what we're going to start learning, people, to discern vibes and to know whether a vibe actually resonates with us, and we can say no, yes, maybe. And those vibes come from everywhere. The whole universe is just information in forms of vibration. So aren't you excited? I am. About getting more clear about that discernment. Okay, so we looked at this. Now, the other thing that could happen with that I talked about, the Neptune squaring the sun during the second week of December, is that we might have suddenly this clearing with Neptune going direct. There's suddenly more clarity, but there could still be that back and forth where the fog is not yet completely clear. And this is where we can be prey to certain beliefs or people that want to give us the magic potion. And again, this is where discernment is of the utmost important. What are you ingesting in your mental field? You know, what are you believing? What are you, who are you? Are you what somebody's telling you to? Are you still confused about who you are? Because this can be a recipe, this new moon, and I'm going to say this is the new moon in Sagittarius, by the way, December 12th, this new moon in Sagittarius can have two things. An amazing expansion towards new beliefs, you know. Sagittarius is, we're going elsewhere. Sagittarius, the archer that points far, where the field of possibilities open. Now, when the field of possibilities open, that's when we can be prey to delusions, disillusionment, or we find a guru or a person or a belief or a method that seems to give you the shortcut to enlightenment or something like that. And then I got this vision of the Little Mermaid, you know, who wants to go explore the world. You know, if you ever saw either the Disney movie or read the book or any other version of it, the Little Mermaid drinks this concoction that Ursula, the witch, gives her by telling her that she's going to get feet, but she exchanges for that magic potion her voice. So she gives away her power and she goes to explore the world. So this is why this archetype of the Little Mermaid came so strong when I was doing this presentation. I felt, oh, it's like the Little Mermaid wanting to exit this world into an unknown world that could be also deceiving. And how? Using a magic potion. So that comes from outside. It doesn't come from within, it comes from outside. So this is where we need to be. Again, this is the only time I'll say beware of the magic potion, because the magic potion doesn't really exist. What exists is your coherence in every moment. Am I coherent with what I'm feeling, doing, speaking? Yes, no, maybe. Oh, I'm not coherent. What do I need to shift? Maybe this thought, or this action, or this word. Words, remember, words are powerful. And that will become our compass towards the mastery that Saturn will be asking us in Pisces. It's not the magic potion of some fantastical thing, that we're going to consume. And again, this is where consuming plant medicine or even plant medicine, I would say it's okay. They have their own field of consciousness, but I would say beware when you're using any kind of psychedelic to make sure that if that's the route you're choosing, to make sure that that is not fostering escapism, but actual insight. So I always take that with a grain of salt, because when things come from the outside, the responsibility that comes with that is really big. So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying, are you aware of what this does to you, your psyche, your being? Are you fully aware? And can you find discernment? Because there's everything and anything, especially these days where there's so much information around psychedelic assisted therapies and the more, let's say, irresponsible things, which is like people giving right and left mushroom trips or pill trips or whatever. I would say, if you're going to do that, do it with a professional, do it for a healing, knowing that it's not the magic potion that's not going to solve all of your life's problems, but understanding that it's just a ways for insight, things like that. So take everything with a grain of salt, what I'm saying. And I know this is for you to find your own discernment through life. So this new moon has also the potential to be a very beautiful, intense, I would say even fiery new moon, because it's also trining the North Node, which might point you more and more towards an initiative. This is a fire grand trine with Lilith as well through this new moon. So this new moon is planting seeds for you, for your being, for your path, for your existence, for your courage, for who you truly are inside. So again, remember, don't let others tell you who you are. You find who you are. That's it. That's it for that. And finally, the last topic I'm going to cover here is the Mercury going retrograde December 13th. Mercury is starting to go retrograde in Capricorn and will retrograde back into Sagittarius. So anything during this period of time, the new insights, the new ways of thinking, being, acting, doing, again, time to review. Are these the right things, choices, ways? Did I pick the right path? Are my goals really in line with me? All of those themes, because Mercury through Capricorn will go through the goals, and Mercury in Sagittarius talks more about beliefs, about what we really believe gives us sense and purpose. And Capricorn is, with the sense and purpose, we can actually find a path. This is why Capricorn is after Sagittarius. Sagittarius finds the purpose. Capricorn finds the path. So in that way, the review will be, is this the path? And if not, just course correct. Maybe the path is slightly different. I think this is all I'm inspired to say at this moment, because again, these videos can tend to be long. So let me put my person back into being a little bit bigger. Here I am. So thank you for listening. Thank you for staying all this time. If you did, kudos to you. You got all the golden nuggets. Please feel free to share, subscribe, leave comments. And if you are going through any of the transits I've personally shared, I'd love to hear your stories. I'd love to hear how is it for you, because this is, again, not cookie cutter, and the astral weather might be impacting people differently depending on where they are at in their lives. some people might be really impacted by a transit and others a little bit less. This is why sharing your stories, when I read the astral weather and you can identify yourself in one of these patterns or these archetypes, I'd love to hear. So we as a community can also read each other's comments and go, oh, wow, yes, this is what this person's been going through and they have this or that. This is a great way to actually verify the astrological existence. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you very soon. As I engage my energy, I'll be doing this as much as I can for you. Thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate knowing that your love and support is out there. And there's many other beautiful beings also when I'm not around here for you to give you insight. So many others. Yesterday, for instance, I jumped on a live by Spencer Michaud. He's like a beautiful astrologer, a friend of mine. And in the live Q&A, he even pulled up my chart because I wanted to have his take on my personal transit. And it was really, really lovely to have that opportunity. So I know everybody will find the guidance that is right for them at the right time, at the right moment. So thank you very much. Blessings, and I'll see you in the next video.